Motorhop on Air.
Welcome to episode 26.
It feels like it should be a season 2, but I know how much you hate it.
Yeah. I am going to move the mics up just a touch.
Sure, just mess around. No one will know. It's been so long since they've heard us.
Yeah, it has been a minute. Yeah.
How do you feel?
I'm glad we finally got back to recording.
Yeah, when are we going to record after this? When's the next time?
I was thinking about that earlier, and I think I'm going to go with the make no promises except to myself. And you will hear us again at some point.
Yeah, because every time you try to make a promise, I think you jinx it. And
yeah, probably to some extent.
You good? Things got a little dusty while we were gone.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're good.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
Tell everyone just turn their radios up.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the
dial.
intro level is similar to the mic level, because I hate the whole like quiet loud thing.
Yeah.
Where you're
they only
chasing
have to hear it
volume all
once.
the time.
They'll be okay. I believe in them.
Well, let's start with something normal, and then we'll play catch up.
Catch up.
What is in your cup?
I'm going crazy tonight. I have a kind of like a hydration packet. It is essentially the Aldi version of Liquid IV, I think is what it is. So I have a big lift day tomorrow, so we're playing it safe. And
From
I'm tired.
Here, it just looks like dirty ice water.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, the glass is foggy too, but essentially that's probably what it is. It's just salty ice water, probably.
Yeah. What big lift do you have tomorrow?
We have a squat max day, and we used to be doing it every 3 weeks, testing our max, but we've been working on this for 6 weeks.
What was your last max?
When I hit depth, so I was apparently cheating. My trainers weren't calling me out and going low enough. I hit 260 a while ago, but then we started checking my depth for potential competition interest, and I'm at 230.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
So you just throw me over your shoulders and squat me?
And crumble. Someone was telling me the other day that if you can bench your body weight, squat 1.5 times your body weight, and deadlift double your body weight, you're stronger than like 95% of people or something like that.
Some
so
made-up statistic percentage.
I'm really close to being in like the top 5% of something for the first time in my life. I run very average in most of my statistics, which is great normally, but it is nice to be slightly better than most people at something.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah. I'll be tired. And hopefully I don't end up disappointed, but you do what you can do.
Hopefully you don't hurt yourself, break something, strain something.
I don't push myself as hard as you think I did. As hard as everyone else
How long has
does.
the one spot on your back been bothering you?
You know what? That's probably from my day job.
Oh,
that's probably from sitting at a computer, not from lifting weights.
Okay.
Just so you know. So you have a gallery of drinks over there.
Yes, we have a bottle of water, just in case.
Just in case we start coughing on the other 2, 3.
Yeah, no, other 2.
Okay.
This is actually the second bottle I bought, because the first one I bought back in like
August, probably.
When did we stop recording?
Probably August, September.
Yeah. Throwback to anyone who remembers whenever this got big originally.
You didn't even open it yet.
No, because...
Oh, there's a sound.
Well, that was not...
That was pretty
not
anticlimactic.
nearly as satisfying as I was hoping. A Balls.
BAWLS. What was it, like an original energy drink or something?
Yeah, I always thought it was Balls Energy. I don't know.
There's not that much
It doesn't say
caffeine
that
in it anymore. So either they've adapted it for whatever the market was, or we've just gotten older and caffeine resilient, and nothing impresses us anymore.
I don't know. It doesn't say.
I don't think there was much more than like any other
manufacturer for Balls, Twinsburg, Ohio.
Okay. I wonder where they manufacture the jar. That's actually the coolest part of that drink. It's the bottle.
Yeah. The dimpling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has caffeine. They don't say how much.
Probably not much more than like a Diet Coke.
Yeah. But yeah,
I don't
so we
know.
have a balls.
So what flavor is that? It's a blue bottle.
Original.
So what flavor is that? Does it taste like chemical, like a Monster?
I'll let you try
Oh
it.
no! You always give me gross stuff to try.
No, I think
Smells
it's
like
like
nothing.
Cream soda and like some faint citrus energy.
Oh, there's caffeine
thing.
listed as an ingredient.
Yeah, it just doesn't say how much.
Yeah, it
You
tastes
get
like tastes like a clear, like lemon lime to me. Lightly sweetened. That's pretty satisfying.
Yeah, and then my final drink is bourbon and Coke.
Which you probably will drink like 3 sips total of everything combined while you're over the next hour.
We'll see.
You can chug them after I go to bed.
This is Green River Bourbon, which is a new addition.
I tried that the other day and thought it was awful.
Really?
Remember when we were at a fire?
Oh yeah, but you mixed your bourbon and Coke like 90% bourbon.
No, it wasn't that much.
We definitely were bourbon heavy on that.
No, it wasn't.
Well, I'm telling you, that's why it was off.
The flavor's just bad. So, where you been? Pretend like I don't know anything about your life and tell me about your life.
Our life.
Or maybe don't tell me everything, because that could be a while.
Yeah, so if you remember early on, I was like, we're not going to pod drift.
Yeah, I do remember
And
that.
if we disappear...
Well, you made it to
tell you
like
we're gonna
7
disappear.
episodes or something. That was your actual goal. So you've done better than...
Yeah.
What did you say? Like 7% of podcasts make it past...
Yeah, episode 7 was like a milestone. 21 was, I think, was another milestone. But so coming off of Vintage Days, we went to what was it? Nights Under Fire, whatever. We both ended up with COVID.
Oh yeah,
Did you
we went to
forget
that redneck gathering and they all breathed on me.
Yeah. And then
That was awful. Did we come back after that?
Yeah.
Did you look at dates? Okay.
Yeah. No, we did a recording after COVID. Let me pull up episode 25 notes here. Yes. Second item, COVID.
That was that was probably 2 to 3 weeks in between there. Because we had COVID for at least normally 2.
Yeah. So after that, my day job since COVID has been, like 2020 pandemic COVID.
OG COVID.
Has been in the pool and hot tub industry. And the whole industry has just been burnt out and collapsing slowly. And the place I work exceptionally so. In end of August, beginning of September, you start running into pool closing season, and we've just been massively understaffed for.
You've been massively understaffed, like
Ever.
your entire history of
Yes.
working there.
Yeah.
So
So that didn't help. And then I think it was
August, September.
so
October.
that was kind of August into September of just trying to make time, being burnt out, didn't get to it. And then it was October 4th, I believe. You had a work thing. I was leaving work to go with you to your work thing. The intersection that I've been through.
Bajillion times.
Yeah, a bunch of times. Made a left. A Avalanche 2500 proceeded straight through the intersection.
Very confidently.
Yep. And hit the passenger rear wheel of my X5. And that was my first proper motor vehicle accident that hasn't been on a race course other than clipping a deer one time barely.
I was with you that time.
You were. Yep. And you and Jerry. And both of you, whenever I clipped the deer, got letters from lawyers trying to sue me.
Yeah, thank goodness I didn't. I'd be paying myself at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. So car accident occurred.
Obviously, no one was hurt because you were going like 3 miles an hour, and the other person just, I don't want to say plowed as in going super fast, but anyone you shouldn't be going. You shouldn't be going so fast through an intersection that you can't react to something like that. Like that's just a flag to me. But we did go to court. There was never a definitive. I don't know that we've heard how they ruled.
No.
Or if you will.
No, I don't know.
You might be able to check the court records online.
Well, I'd have to find his stuff with Progressive. I don't know. So I was cited, even though I was pretty confident, and you can almost see it in the security footage from my work that I had a protected left.
It's
Chaos
probably
of
just
life.
default of whoever's making the left get cited or one of those weird, like,
semi-county sheriff.
it's not
just
really,
cites
they
whoever's
don't
making
take
the
the
left.
time
period.
to actually investigate. It's like he said, she said,
Well,
and it's just
if you remember,
it is what it is.
when my sister, similar incident, the woman who came straight through the red light and hit her while she was clearing the intersection making a left, admitted guilt to the sheriff's deputy.
And she still got cited.
And they still cited my sister.
Yeah.
So it's just like baseline, whoever's making the left gets cited for right of way. So,
shout out to anyone who has ever gone without a vehicle.
yeah. So,
I mean, that was kind of, I feel like, the most traumatic part of it for you was just being stripped of your vehicle.
yeah. And well, in entering a part of the year where it's not nearly as easy to do everything on two wheels. One, because of weather.
Yeah, it was
and
October
two, just
in the
because
Midwest.
of my day job of normally dragging tools around with me.
Yeah,
So,
from lack of staffing.
yeah. So that kicked off what ended up being a 4-month fight with Progressive because they decided to total out the X5. I think I talked about it on here before. It was a 2012 BMW X5, the xDrive 35D. So that is the diesel, which they're around, but Progressive was not wanting to value it appropriately.
So it's worth more than the gasoline version.
Yes.
And you had to fight for that.
Yeah. And their comps were just not good. They were sending the first list of comps they sent, because they just expect people to take whatever they tell them and not check the comp list.
I always just assumed there was like a Kelley Blue Book value and it probably went off of that. So like if anyone has ever been lucky enough to not have to go through this process, which I hadn't, so it was all new to me. They go through and they basically, it's kind of like buying a house. You know, they do like market value comparisons, and that's what you say, comps. Like I didn't know what that was. You're literally comparing vehicles, and they would tell you that, you know, when you tried to fight them, it needed to be within even a certain zip code or something like that. But yet they were picking random comps all over the country, nothing aligned. The packages weren't like lining up or anything like that. Like they were just lazy, and they were probably hoping you'd just give up.
Oh, 100%.
Because they knew you didn't have a vehicle. It's not like it was a brand new car, so they're probably like, oh, he's desperate. You know, like someone's driving a used vehicle. It's probably easy to assume that they don't have a bunch of them.
Yeah. Not to jump too far ahead. I told the body shop that it was at that I'd pay it off before I let Progressive pay me less than it was worth.
You almost gave up, though. They did almost get you
They
after
did
that,
almost
like,
give me at one point.
2 or 3 months.
It was about the 2.5 going on 3 month mark that I.
But we made it a few. Well, we had no idea how long this was going to take. We made it a few weeks.
Well,
Okay.
So first comp list, though, I check a couple of the VIN numbers for the listings they have. One of the X5s that they had on there. First off, not a single one of the first, I think 4 were on the first comp list. Not a single one was a diesel. One of them was literally missing body panels. Like missing parts of the car.
So it's not like comparable condition.
Yeah. And they have their whole adjustment formula, which they won't disclose how they do it, because I was trying to work the math out backwards on the mileage value adjustment. And it's like a progressive curve where the larger the difference in miles, the less they pay per mile. But it was a very frustrating process. And it was end of October, beginning of November. So yeah, about probably a month in.
You were a shell of a human.
Yeah.
Falling apart.
My vehicles are a large part of my identity.
Your identity had been stripped.
Yeah. So, the woman I work for, her son was buying a new car. He was selling his previous one, which was a 2012 Audi A3 TDI. So 4-door wagon, 4-liter turbocharged diesel. And he was just going to sell it to Carvana or CarMax. And I pulled values and made him a little comp sheet and ended up paying him more than Carvana or CarMax were going to pay for it at the time.
You're like a comp sheet pro.
Yeah. Well, I think we were 2 rounds in with Progressive at that point. So picked that up, and that was my means of transportation.
For how long?
For
a month?
Yeah, maybe about a month.
It might have been less than that.
Yeah. So at this point, Progressive, I think, refused to share with me version 2 of the comp sheet and value report. So we're on version like 3 or 4 early December. At this point, they're sending me stuff that's just blatantly missing options, arguing with me, saying my vehicle doesn't have options that it does, saying vehicles on their comp list has options that they do not.
Yeah, same thing, different day, new sheet.
Yeah. And I leave work literally
down the street,
mile and a half down the street, go to the gas station, fill up, turn around, coming back. I will say filled up with diesel, just for anyone who's not picking up. I did put the correct fuel in it.
Word.
And I'm on my way back, and I, put my foot in a little bit. It's a fun, peppy car. And all of a sudden, flashing lights and power falls away. Check engine light ends up being for a underboost code. I'm thinking blew apart a charge air hose somewhere. Got a
that's
bad
when you
seal.
call Mayday.
Yeah.
You made it home.
Yep, I did make it home. So maybe, I think it was the next day, get it up on some ramps, going through, really think it's the intercooler seals. Can't get the new seals to sit right. And should have checked just for boost beforehand, but was pretty confident that where it was leaking because just how loose the connections were. Pull the charge air hose off, have Mitch get in and rev it up. Zero flow coming from the turbocharger.
You lost an engine. I'm thinking jets.
Yeah. Yeah. Zero boost, zero airflow. So disassemble the inlet side of the turbocharger, get a little inspection mirror down in there, and the impeller has just disintegrated. Not too many pieces, luckily. Kind of big chunk broke off, friction welded the backside of the impeller to the compressor housing. So what was a pretty good deal on a car was now less of a good deal. Because
that was not inexpensive.
No.
It didn't cost more than the car, though, did it?
No. So, yeah, I don't care if people know what I paid for the car. So I paid...
It's all about wheeling and dealing, bro.
Yeah, $2,500-ish for the car.
Yeah.
Put another $2,500 almost in turbocharger.
It's doubled in value at this point.
Yeah. Which I was still ahead on kind of private party sales stuff.
If you have a car that runs for about $5,000 in this market, you're doing okay.
Yeah. Well, and it was a diesel with 120,000 miles on it.
And so you knew it was worth putting, what'd you call it? Like man
investing
hours.
In it. Well, yeah.
Yeah. It's
blood, sweat, tears, and money.
It's not you're like, oh, it's totaled.
Yeah.
Even though technically,
Yeah. I mean, if we were valuing it like insurance, yeah.
2 in 2 months. So then you became a shell of a human again.
Yep.
Because you waited a couple weeks, tried to wait it out.
Well, I was trying to source parts and trying to figure out what I was going to do as far as turbocharger, of reman or new. And luckily, where we are here in Akron, Ohio, if you are a gearhead of any sorts, this is a fantastic place to live. Because we're about 20-25 minutes from Summit Racing. Which... If you're somewhere else in the world and are aware of Summit Racing because of one of their other locations, they were named Summit Racing because they started in Summit, Ohio. Summit County, Ohio. Yeah. But in the other direction from us is ECS Tuning. ECS Tuning is like Summit, but for German cars. So BMWs, Audis, Volkswagens, etc., Porsches. If you want to
what you're telling me is we can't move
Not if we want parts accessibility. So then it was looking online what it was going to take to get the turbo out. Of course, if anyone's familiar with like aftermarket turbo kits, you have like a manifold that bolts to the exhaust ports and then turbocharger bolts to that. Not so on this factory one. The entire exhaust manifold was cast as a single piece into the turbine side. So it's also wedged between the engine block and the firewall. Excellent accessibility. That is just a statement dripping in sarcasm. Mm-hmm. I saw quotes online of anywhere from around the 16 to 18 hour mark of billable time, upwards of 24 hours of billable time is what shops were charging for this job.
Which is like another cost of the vehicle folded over again. Easy.
Yeah. So, not that I was planning on having anyone else do it necessarily, but just made me feel better about the time investment. But back to day job, understaffed, don't have a bunch of time. So it was like
vehicle is part of your soul.
Yeah.
So
parts show up, couple hours of work, wait, another part shows up, couple hours of work, slowly chipping away at this.
When you have time.
Yeah. So at this point, we're now like another month into this.
I don't think you made it another month before the next one. I don't remember.
It was almost.
It was, I don't know. It was before Christmas.
Yeah. It was before Christmas. Was looking at other options while still fighting with Progressive.
It was spiraling quite quickly.
Yeah. Found a 2010 BMW X5, not a diesel. Mm-mm. And also the last year they made the inline 6 in the X5 without a turbocharger. Because at that time...
turbos were not our friend.
No, I was not a big fan of turbochargers at that moment. So ended up picking that up to have transportation.
Running out of parking spots.
Yeah. Then holidays.
So that's like a month that's just gone at least. The holidays are always just, I don't know where the time goes. It's very frustrating.
Yeah. And then we had like a family trip to Disney, which then resulted in, I don't remember, did you end up testing positive?
No. Okay. I had like a really bad head cold for like 3 or 4 or 5 days. I didn't get nearly as bad as you did that time around. Yeah, so
I ended up testing positive for influenza A. That sucked.
That was like a solid week before I don't want to say I forced you because it wasn't really that bad, but strongly encourage you to go to urgent care just to at least like get an antibiotic because we had another trip planned.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I guess before we get too far from Disney was cool. Big Star Wars fan. If you haven't been and have the means and time to go do Galaxy's Edge, do it. It's phenomenal. I loved every minute of it.
You have to like people and don't go on any time where children are off school.
Yeah.
Our timing was less than ideal.
Yeah. Yeah. Still enjoyed it. Build a lightsaber, build a droid. Did the things to check it off.
I had a panic attack. It was fine.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Too many people. Not my thing.
No.
Send me to the beach.
Yeah. Just wanted to kind of do the things because I don't know when we'll go back. So just wanted to kind of check the stuff off. But it was great. Influenza A, not so much. In the middle of that, Mitch.
Your brother-in-law.
Yep. Who, again, it's been so long. Don't know if we talked about it. He had bought a 96 Cherokee 2-door, low mileage lift kit, going through kind of resto modding it per se.
You guys like share garage workspace?
Yeah, at times. And he realized he needed to do the floorboards or floor pan.
In like December, I think.
Yeah. Like
while the Audi was in the garage.
Yeah. First, like real cold days. Got home, realized the carpet was frozen. It was further along than I think either of us thought. And was probably one good season away from being a Flintstone modification. Just feet right through the floor.
Good air circulation.
Yeah. So got over there, to get the Audi wrapped up and out of there before we went and did Code Mash.
Yeah, this was second week of January. I don't know if anyone is really keeping track at this point, but it was chaos.
Yes.
We went from Disney, sick, having to get the car out, and then we had another. This is more of a volunteer. I feel like neither one of these were like leisurely trips. We had like obligatory family trip, come back, try to survive, have to leave. Was it exactly a week after we got back? We had to leave to volunteer.
Yes.
This was not just like a fun it is fun, but
yeah, we love Code Mash.
We've
there talked about it before. Yeah.
And I don't want to say obligate, out of volunteer, like.
Yeah, but we have things to do. We're not just necessarily going to enjoy the conference.
People
do
depend on us.
enjoy
So
it,
we do go.
Yeah, stuff catches fire. Fires have to be put out.
Yeah, it's almost like a work trip, kind of. So we had that to figure out while you were on your deathbed.
Yeah. So then Code Mash for a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then while we're at Code Mash,
no one got sick. We had been sick.
Oh yeah, we didn't
we
get
survived
sick.
Code Mash.
But Progressive, finally is moving forward.
Well, you called and like threatened them and had like many conversations.
At this point, I
stuff.
had hired a third-party appraiser.
You were ready to give up
because I skipped this detail early on. They asked me, "What do you think the vehicle's worth?"
$1 million.
I said between $14,000 and $16,000, and here's why. And provided them real comps, of truly similar optioned and mileage vehicles. The diesel X5 had just rolled 100,000 miles, like 2 or 3 weeks before I was in the accident. So low mileage, especially for those year diesel X5s.
Mm-hmm.
So third-party appraisers hired, send the paperwork over to Progressive, who doesn't want to just look at it. They want to then force me to make a decision if I'm invoking the appraisal clause, which forces them to hire a third-party appraiser, yada, yada. We go through with that. They call back. Final number is 15,000. I forget. 58 or something.
It was like $3,000 more than they were originally offering or something.
Yes, and at one point I had told them the highest they ever got was 12.8.
Mm-hmm.
I said 14 and we can be done. I said, I'm only asking you to come up $1,200.
And they had to pay the third-party appraiser. They had to pay this guy his time.
Well, and they paid the body shop, who was phenomenal, by the way. If you were in this area,
anyways.
Well, yeah, but they're just awesome people. Seem to do good work. I've heard nothing but positives about them, and they were very helpful to us throughout the process. That was Akron Auto Painting.
And they paid like a daily rate to them or something, didn't they?
Yeah, so I told Progressive, I said, I'm only asking you to come up $1,200. You've already racked up $1,800 in storage at the body shop. Had you just agreed to the value that I told you 1 week in, you would have saved a bunch of money, which they didn't care.
Nope.
So,
principle.
Yeah, finally wrapped it up while we're at Code Mash. I think it was right before we left. We got word that there was an agreement between the appraisers, because the day we were leaving for Code Mash, I had to go with Mitch to the body shop to take the accessories off that they were refusing to pay me for.
Chaos is what it was.
Which I hesitate because we're still with Progressive as of right now. But
and I just move our homeowners over to it. It obviously wasn't that bad. Honestly, I just feel like that experience could have been the same with any insurance company.
Possibly.
Just because it wasn't ideal.
Our adjuster...
I don't know that it was really that bad. The only other claims we've ever really dealt with directly was the one homeowners with the house when we had the tornado. And I don't know if it's because of maybe the nature of that type of claim that they come out quickly. You know, it was a prime tornado season. They had like their appraisers in from other states up here working. They get it done. They get it done. Like, you have to get the tree off of our house. You know, you got to move on with this stuff. You can't just stand around.
Yeah.
If obviously they can't hold out and take advantage. I don't know. I felt like we were much better supported. Maybe it's the economy. Like I said, I will agree that your situation was challenging, but I also just have a feeling it could be the same anywhere.
Well, how did you feel about the fact that we were paying for extra accessory coverage?
Well, you fought for that, didn't you?
Above and beyond. No.
Oh, you never got...
No, that's why I still have my wheels and gifted the roof rack to the one body shop
employee. Well, then I guess we should
and
look
kept
into that.
Every other accessory on that vehicle. because we had paid extra.
For
So the base policy covered, I forget if it was $1,000 or $1,500 worth of accessories.
Yeah, not very much.
I'd put a wheel package on, Black Rhino wheels. I thought they looked good. They look better on this X5 because I still have them because they refused to pay more than $40 a wheel.
And they were like, I guess I don't know how much they were per wheel, but I know we paid a few grand to get them on there and done and everything.
The lowest replacement cost I think I found was like $180.
But you had tires and stuff when we did it as well.
Most of the places, I don't remember. I sent them all of this at one point, but I told them, I said, if you can find those wheels for $40 a wheel, let me know. I'd like to purchase an entire semi-trailer full of them.
Yeah, it's so insulting.
Yeah. So had to go take the wheels off, put the stock wheels back on, day before we left for Code Mash. Got through Code Mash. Also, through this whole time, there's the whole wanting to start scooter/motorcycle dealership, which requires capital. So, brother-in-law has been into multiple different ventures of flipping stuff. And
he's a hustler.
Yeah. And had started picking up on Pokemon cards. So, also decided to start a Pokemon card business throughout all of this. Because I had obviously entirely too much time and energy and just felt like I needed yet another thing to keep myself busy with.
And what is that? What do we call that? ADHD?
Something to that effect. So, if we'll do shameless plug, if you or your children or nephews or whatever are into Pokemon cards, like MotoHop, it is named similarly. Pokehop.co is my website for the Pokemon card shop. Support it, and I will have capital to bankroll into a really cool motorcycle dealership and do even more motorcycle merch. But this is just kind of a small, hopefully, I don't know.
It's a side hustle right now.
Maybe it'll spin off and someone else can take it long term, but pretty much exists for the purpose of building capital to do the motorcycle stuff. So, yeah, I think that's it. Did I miss anything?
I don't know.
What did you do for the past 6-7 months?
Oh, I made sure we had food in the refrigerator to eat. I maintained everything else in our life while you sat in the corner in fetal position.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
That's basically what I do. My hobby is supporting yours and making sure the rest of our life.
Yeah. Luckily, you didn't have too much chaos while I was chaosing. Although we did adopt the mantra.
I'm pretty good at like working in the background while I just let you freak out.
Yeah. But what was the mantra we adopted?
One crisis at a time.
Yep, one crisis at a time.
We should probably make that into stickers.
Yes.
That works for motorcycles and everything. That works for literally everything.
It works for everything.
I've been telling people that at work too, and usually I'm the one freaking out, but it's always just, don't worry guys, just one crisis at a time.
Yeah.
That's all you can do is literally, I mean, yeah, you can be multitasking, but you can really only execute one thing at a time. You also
just, whenever you have large, not simple to fix issues, it's, all you can do is process through it one at a time.
So when you're done here, you're going to check out our washing machine, which has been on the fritz, and maybe even our pressure tank in our basement, which has been crying for help, as well as...
Well, after I fixed the new X5 today.
Yeah, so if you want to know where all of our time is bad, we can show you our task list. It's just annoying that you just don't have time. People sometimes will ask me, like, why do you do all these things around your house? And I was like, well, I do the things I can do because there's so much that needs done that I can't do, that it's just divide and conquer. Like, I don't mind mowing the grass because it's really mindless and something anyone can do. So,
although that was a giant time sink today.
That was another mockery of our mental capacity.
Let's mow the grass. No problem. Lawnmower starts up fine. Clean the carb a little bit, runs for a while.
75-80% of the yard. It got the important parts done.
Yeah. Then it just chasing down issues.
Died.
Turned out to be ignition issue. First thought the coil was dead. Spark plug.
I think we have some sage.
Must have had an internal fracture or something. Just refused.
It could have been that rock I hit.
Spark down by the electrode.
I think I hit a rock.
Yeah. New spark plug working fine.
Thank goodness. I'll finish Seaguard tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or the next day, depending on how my squat goes.
Yeah, the X5 developed random misfire yesterday while I was at work.
Maybe you need saged. You just like smoke box your car with sage and just douse yourself. I feel like you need a little help from the spiritual world.
Yeah. Ended up cylinder 2 misfire, swapped coil packs, took the one from 2 to 1, misfire, followed it, did it again this morning just to, triple check. Luckily it was just ignition coil, but also a 2-month-old ignition coil. So kind of frustrating, but
yeah. And when you get down with the washer and the pressure tank and the lawnmower, will you look at my car?
Yeah. And then maybe all of the bikes that have been sitting there. I did, because I was like, I'm going to get something like de-winterized so I can ride.
Oh, yeah.
So the Royal Alloy is on the battery charger right now.
Oh, good job. One crisis at a time.
Yep.
One motorcycle at a time.
Yeah.
That's all you can ride.
Yeah. So anything else before we kind of jump into some news stuff?
No, I mean, our dog is broken now too, but
Yeah. Yeah. What did she tear?
It's called a CCL.
Yeah.
It's like a something cranial ligament. It's like the ACL, but it's in your dog's knee. So she's just kind of lost stability of her knee.
Yeah.
She doesn't really seem
why
too
did
much.
She hurt it?
Because she had a really good bath and a really bad case at the Zoomies and slipped on a rug. And like you hear about the stupid stuff other people's animals do, and you're just like, wow, I'm so glad my dog's like a normal life. And then your dog does something stupid, and you're just like, I'm like a meme now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been trying to make her.
Yeah.
I mean, there's surgery you can do for it, which is like $3,000, but it doesn't. As much as it like fixes the problem, it can heal on its own, and she may still have a limp afterwards and everything. Plus, the recovery time is absolutely insane. It's like months in a kennel, no wearing, and for the sake of her other arthritis she has at the age of like 12 or 13 or whatever she is now, it's just kind of like, we're just going to wait it out. And honestly, she's doing better. It's only a weekend. I think she's doing a little better. She's getting a little restless, which is not great.
She's trying to be active on 3 legs.
Yeah, she hops around, which is not good because she can blow the other one very easily from overcompensating. So honestly, I've been trying to carry her as much as possible just to prevent her from losing both knees at once, because it is still very likely she'll blow the other one.
You're trying to prevent her from herself.
100%. I feel like prevention of self-destruction is where we're all at in this economy. It's just, again, one crisis at a time. Luckily, she feels great. She's way more confident than she should be, which is dangerous. But honestly, it would be a lot harder if she was upset about it.
Or a larger dog.
Yeah. Bless you people with dogs you can't carry around.
Yeah.
Because it's fine. I'll just order her a strap and put her over my shoulder.
Yeah. So, carry her for a bit.
I ordered her a carrier today.
Yeah.
Her little legs can go out in front of me. I just put her little booty in a front backpack.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's fine. That's fine.
Well,
do you actually want to talk about something motorcycle related?
Yeah. So real quick, missed, I'm sure, a bunch of recalls. Couple more recent ones. 2024 Kawasaki Ninja E1 and the Kawasaki Z E1 have some battery terminal issues. Link will be in the show notes. If I remember correctly, let me click on this real quick. I think this was fracturing the terminal. Repeated attachment, detachment of the batteries may result in a failed connection between the batteries. And then the other recall is 2025 Indian Challenger Dark Horse Pursuit Limited Roadmaster Elite Springfield Dark Horse. Yeah, okay.
That is a long title.
They have a fuel pump issue. You want fuel, right?
So you want to know about a recall I heard about?
Sure.
When I was on the Moto Compacto subreddit earlier. Apparently their app just like disconnects from the server sometimes and everyone gets locked out of their bikes. It runs like, it was from just 4 months ago. There was a bunch of people on there being like, oh my God, I got a 503 code, like the gateway error.
Yeah.
And like, well, apparently it's just like
503 is gateway timeout, I think.
Yeah. People keep getting that and they couldn't get on their bikes. So they're like, just don't lock your Moto Compacto in the app because you have to
You
wait
can't
until
unlock
their
it without the app.
server's up and going again. So I guess there was a recall back about a little over a year ago, like January of 2024, whatever. They stopped selling them and people couldn't figure out why. And it's because there was a tech recall. There's nothing wrong with the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
The tech was malfunctioning and they were trying to figure out a fix for that. So they stopped selling them while the tech was broken. So you might want to turn yours on and see if there's any sort of
updates
or recalls on your
good
scooter. Just might as well do that while it's recent. You don't want to pull it out. You haven't really had it out too much. You don't want to pull it out in 5 years and
know
what you're talking about.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Add that to the list of things I need to do.
Pretty low.
Yeah.
Pretty low on the list, but something rainy day and you want to dust it off and give it some positive affirmations. That would be a good thing to do.
Well, it's sitting here next to us.
I know it can hear me. They also had a recall or some sort of something or other where they were putting the seat on backwards. I don't know how easy that is, but it is. There wasn't a ton of posts on the subreddit.
I guess you could mount it backwards on the post, but you can't put the post in backwards because the window for the locking mechanism is only on one side.
Yeah, people weren't able to then put the seat in the thing or something weird. There was something very strange.
Interesting
about the seat, but it is kind of cool to see that people apparently still use them. There wasn't a lot of posts on this Reddit, but people have done lots of updates to their seats, lots of decals and stickers out there. Some people are 3D printing spoilers, and I saw some guy that had an air intake he put on the side of his that he had 3D printed. Obviously, purely aesthetic, but seeing how people adapt it from user experience, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it still needs new tires. I don't know if they have any of those out yet.
Yeah, I know someone was talking about it. I know someone was talking about doing a bigger hub motor for the front as well. I don't know. I haven't looked at that. I've had other issues in my life.
Other crises?
Yeah.
You should see if you can. Probably can't ride it in the Outer Banks on their
sidewalks,
bike trails and stuff. Do they allow motorized vehicles on their bike trails?
Are you allowed to walk on it?
What do you mean?
Can you
walk on the bike trail?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just
paths. Then
sometimes they have laws on electric vehicles.
Yeah, I'll have to check the laws, but this is a
mobility device.
Yeah, whatever I said in the one episode where I went over the legal standing of this.
Should get a helmet.
Yeah, micro mobility device or whatever. Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Thoughts. Recent news. We're not going to bury the lead here. Jochen Zeitz left Harley.
Womp, womp.
Do you remember who that is?
Yeah, he's a CEO.
He was.
For 3 years?
I don't remember how long.
Not very long.
Yeah.
Harley looks like they're in some deep poop.
Yeah, a couple notes down. There's originally I was going to go over their Q4 results.
It's kind of tied in though.
Their 2024 Q4 results were not great.
This dude's like, I'm out. Yeah. Although he is going to stick around until the next replacement is found. But
yeah,
it kind of sounds like he's leaving because the tariffs got him in like a state of panic, which is fair.
Well, especially whenever you're seemingly barely keeping the company together because your approach was to reduce units, increase profit margin per unit, and now all of a sudden your profit margin is going to be eaten into, or you're going to have to raise the prices further to maintain the same revenue and profits on your reduced unit.
Math is hard.
Yeah. So I can't say I'm sad to see him go. I think I made that pretty clear on our Harley CEO saga episode. Whatever episode that was. There's also an issue now where one of the board members was trying to do basically the same thing that forced Levittich out to some extent, where he was trying to raise a stink on who he was. It kind of sounds like he wanted to be CEO. It's kind of a reading between the lines. I think Ride Apart even mentioned that. He then resigned, the board member. So now they have to bring in a new board member. And they have to find a new CEO. And they really should just try and figure out what Matt Levittich is doing and give him whatever number he wants to come back and implement all the stuff he was trying to implement and save the company. Because they need more cheaper bikes.
Mm-hmm. Because who can afford those now?
Well, who can afford the $110,000 Harley they released while we were not on air?
They don't need everyone to be able to afford it. They just need 131 people to be able to afford it.
Yeah, but whenever you look at that, it sounds like not bad. But like...
Sounds a little tone deaf to me.
Well, so let's say Kawasaki comes out with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That would probably be... I don't know the actual breakdown of it, of what their average selling price is for a Kawasaki street bike. But I do know that the top end Vulcan 1700s are in the 20-ish range. Let's say their average bike price is like 10 grand. Well, that'd be 11 times higher than their average motorcycle price. But a $110,000 Harley, it's only like 4 or 5x.
Well, it's
when you have
a very specific edition. It's not something they're releasing as a standard.
Well, I know, but I'm saying
offer.
It's not like it's 10 times more expensive than their typical bike. They don't have anything in the US market
their bike is
right
probably
now.
Average
Significantly
probably more
under,
than 20, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm
closer
saying.
to 50.
Well, maybe not 50, but especially their touring bikes are in
Will
that
be
kind of
now.
upper 20 to 30,000 range. Right? So
Yeah.
you start looking at a loaded up touring bike in the 30,000 range. Well, $110,000 Harley is only 3-ish X that.
Mm-hmm.
Honda
Mm-hmm.
came out with the 50th anniversary Goldwing. Did you look at the pictures?
I opened the article. Let's see here. Oh, is that it?
So, I think the paint schemes they came out with are pretty sharp.
Are they originally just blue, or did they always have a Goldwing?
What do you mean? Oh, because they're showing the 75 in blue.
Yeah, no, there's red and stuff too, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't know what color options were on the first year Goldwing.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
But yeah, the...
It looks very... touring bike? Is that what you call that?
It is.
Is that what the Goldwing's supposed to be, though?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the Bordeaux Red Metallic and Eternal Gold. Really sharp options.
How much is that? 110,000?
No, probably
50,000 for the 50th.
That would be smart of them.
Smart.
No,
but...
I don't know if they put MSRP in here, but somewhere in the 20s off the top of my head.
Really? That's it?
Yeah, typically.
Let me look it up. Goldwing. Are you going to try to type faster than me?
Oh, because it probably
For sale. 25?
So
25 too?
50. Boarding now.
Honda Power Sports.
Starting at 28.7 for the Goldwing Tour, which is the top trim, I believe.
Oh, okay. So the base is starting at 25.
Yeah, because they also renamed it. They had the F6B, which was the flat 6 bagger, and now that's just another Goldwing.
So you can get 1 Harley or 4 Hondas.
Not just 4
Choose
Hondas.
wisely.
4 top trim Goldwings. Yeah.
How's that for perspective?
Yeah. What else we got on here? Oh, Indian has killed the FTR. That's a bummer. I remember when they announced the FTR, I was very excited. My friends in the motorcycle world were excited. It was the first kind of American sport bike-ish thing called American non-cruiser since Buell.
Mm-hmm.
And it is no longer with us.
Rest in peace.
Story that we missed that I was really bummed to have missed was LiveWire and Kimco. We may have talked about this briefly, their whole like LiveWire and Kimco's partnership.
I don't remember.
but they tease the 2 scooters that they're going to be coming out with. So Harley scooters again.
How does it work like that when they co-brand it?
No, it's not co-branded. They work on the same underlying architecture. So there will be Kimco bikes that use that powertrain essentially, and there will be LiveWire bikes.
So they just change the skins of it essentially.
Well, not just skins, but like they're basically co-developing, from the sounds of it, like the motor, the electronics, the battery packs.
And who knows if we will ever see it? Because Focus primarily is in the European market.
Wait, did they say that?
Mm-hmm. Right in the article.
Oh, what a bummer.
It says, the new arrangement expands upon the existing arrangement between LiveWire and Kimco, which owns stake in a owns stake in a Harley Davidson electric brand and has extensive experience producing scooters. Under the new agreement, the two will launch a maxi scooter in the first half of 2026 with focus primarily in the European market.
Wow, that's a bummer.
Yeah, that one looks really cool. I don't know whose it is. Who made the blue one?
Why do you just keep referring to things as colors?
Because that's how they look.
Both of the ones in that picture are supposedly LiveWires.
One is blue.
Yes.
Oh, is that what the W is?
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be an L and like a abbreviated V on an angle. Yeah. Yeah, so
it's giving me ruckus.
Yeah. Dennis Chung, of course, motorcycle.com, breaking that story because he apparently knows what Harley is doing before Harley most of the time. But yeah, they have one that's ruckusy, kind of urban utilitarian, and then one that's very sleek, spaceshipy.
It's a more inner city scooter versus, like you said.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I'd be surprised. I think everyone's gonna like the blue one better.
I think there's a market for both of them.
Although
I just hope we see either of them in the U.S. market.
There's such a difference in the tires they have on here. Obviously, the pink one is fast street tires, and the other one's got like knobbier. Yeah.
We now believe one of these is going to be named Doki. Doki. LiveWire filed a trademark. Dennis Chung, of course, breaking the story. But yeah, Doki. Hopefully Doki, not Dookie.
Well, if they do make it over here, where's LiveWire headquartered at?
I don't know if they're in Milwaukee with Harley or not. I don't remember.
Kimco has a factory in South Carolina.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. I looked it up.
Dang, you are well researched on this one.
This was the only one. Okay.
Apparently, we just need to take like 6 months, 7 months off, and you're just on your stuff.
I'll actually read the articles.
Yeah, holy smokes.
Kimco's global headquarters are in Taiwan under the name Guanyang Motor Company. Kimco USA, their North American subsidiary, is located in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Huh, no kidding.
So there's a chance maybe, but it sounds like they're probably building them in Taiwan and leaving them in Europe. Because they're not going to build everything in
the LiveWires will be built in the States.
And then
the only LiveWire factory, I believe, is in the U.S.
When this article came out, was it before or after? Way before the tariffs.
Oh, yes.
That might change a lot.
Well, they're also shooting for 2026 as a launch.
Maybe they'll get stuck here.
So we have plenty of time to figure out what's going on with the world.
Yep. Someone better figure it out.
Yeah. But apparently Dennis Chung deciphering the trademark. Doki doesn't mean much in English, but it does come up fairly frequently in Japanese anime culture. As LiveWire points out in the trademark filing, Doki Doki is a Japanese onomatopoeia for the sound of a fast heartbeat. Which is kind of cool. Yeah. So we'll see.
You should come up with some cutesy little kawaii decals for that.
Yeah, there you go. AMA backs the reintroduction of the Repair Act.
Didn't we kind of know that? Weren't they taking like donations or something?
Well, That was the first time it was introduced.
Oh, I knew it sounded
Nothing
familiar.
happened with it. New Congress. Bill has to be reintroduced. Which is great. As I put in the notes, great, but arguably we have larger issues as a country than right to repair at this moment.
Sure, but that doesn't mean that that's not someone's crisis.
Very good point.
I mean, the people who are dealing with
has
the
been my crisis
Repair
at points.
Act are not going to be the same people who are probably fighting for the Department of Education right now. So hopefully everyone can have their own niche to take care of.
Yeah. Well, and right to repair is important. I've run into stuff, especially working on vehicles. We have I think it's a 2012 Mercedes Sprinter 2500.
At work, not us.
Yeah. Man, did they really just want you to take that thing to the dealership?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we want anything to do with that. I'd be broke if I actually had to pay for car repairs. I just pay for groceries instead.
Yeah.
It's pretty... Sometimes I think it might be comparable.
Yeah.
Groceries aren't cheap either, but, at least a little bit there's some negotiation in there.
Yeah. Man, you were worried there were too many links. We were ripping through this. We're not even at an hour yet, and we're to weird news.
Oh, well, that's all right. We'll get everyone, warmed up.
Yeah.
I'm tired. This is all right.
Weird news was Magnus Carlsen. Not the one you're thinking of. Not the chess I think he's a grandmaster.
I was not thinking of that at all.
Well, if anyone's into chess. Not that one. This Magnus Carlsen sets the record for the fastest handlebar wheelie. Did you look at this at all?
I did, but stunt riders give me anxiety, so my cortisol levels shot up, and I opted out of that, reading that too far.
So, set the record at 202.67 kilometers an hour, or about 126 miles an hour.
His mother probably lost a few years on her life after watching that. Can you imagine? Ugh.
Yeah. I mean,
or his
you're
wife.
Up there. Yeah.
Watching someone go that fast, not even sitting in the seat.
Yeah. He did it aboard a Super Duke R.
Ugh.
Let's see. Oh, 1290. Yeah. 1290 Super Duke R. Yep. That is a lot of bike, which you need a lot of bike if you're going to try and do handlebar wheelies
Stable
over 100
bike.
miles an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot I put this on here. We didn't talk about this.
Oh, I don't even think
Did you click the 3-wheeler link?
Just now. This is not... Explain to me how this is relevant to your two-wheeled loving podcast. Sometimes you get a little...
You tell me to expand into more wheels all the time.
You added a wheel.
So...
Aren't three-wheelers kind of...
the perfect vintage days motor vehicle? Yes. Yes, they are.
Really? People don't hate three-wheelers there?
Lord, no. Do you not remember all the old Honda ATCs running around there?
It doesn't mean people don't hate them because they take up too much space and stuff, or is it just the four-wheelers they hate?
No, and it's not even...
Golf carts?
Golf carts and side-by-sides for sure.
Because they're just so big.
Yeah, well, they're just obnoxious.
But a three-wheeler's not as big?
No, and it steers like a motorcycle to an extent. Right? Like handlebars, not a steering wheel, like a side-by-side or a golf cart. So I'd been thinking about trying to find a small Honda three-wheeler.
You have?
Yes.
Oh my.
The issue is whether or not it'll fit into the door on the toter home.
You're not actually thinking about this.
Yeah, I was whenever I added this link to it. That was several crises ago.
Okay.
But a small three-wheeler is arguably the best vintage days vehicle, especially if it was like semi-automatic.
Why?
Well, semi-automatic, you only need a throttle hand, so you can carry around something.
Bag
ice, beverage, etc. You don't have to worry about balancing it. So whenever they decide everyone's a little too rowdy and they turn the entire campgrounds to mud, slick rock and mud, it is way less sketchy than a tiny wheeled scooter.
I can get behind that logic because I feel like that's the worst part of trying to figure out how to ride is like moving mud under the tires or moving rocks because they've laid down too much gravel in spots.
Or both combined in certain areas.
Yes. And then bajillions of people everywhere on top of it. Swarms of people are sometimes even worse than the conditions because it's too much for me. It's very overstimulating. Like, part of me would love to just ride around and be brave, but my lack of experience combined with the harsh conditions and the people that drink all day are just not ideal.
So I went from find a small Honda to I still want to do the diesel mini bike.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, surely someone makes like a mini bike trike, right? And there's a couple of companies that do like these conversion kits.
This is electric as well?
Well, this one is, but so the progression of thought here. So then I found a company that does like proper mini bike style 3-wheelers.
Mm-hmm.
And they cost a bunch of money. And the one company I think is in like New Zealand. So go ahead and stack tariffs and shipping costs on top of it.
Well, I don't know. And you got to have a threshold of what vehicle you're going to ride at vintage days, especially if it's a very niche vehicle you're not riding any other time. I feel like there needs to be like a $3,000 max or something. Like, it's all funsies. So having like a cool vehicle, you need to love it more than you want other people to love it.
Yeah. Well,
like, and price does not matter. If it runs,
there's also
golden.
the like stuff that's cool at vintage days is not necessarily cool anywhere else.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you were to have like a vintage days only, like you were to sit here and say hypothetically, this is the perfect vintage days. Yeah, but that's the only time you're
horrible
using
anywhere
it.
else. Yeah.
Yeah. It means it's quirky and useless.
Yeah.
90% of the time.
Yeah.
Unless you're like those, I mean, those guys on the Monkeys, I think, had like a pretty legit thing going because they could ride theirs on the street.
Yeah.
And then also perfect. Probably different tires that you would ideally want, but you make it work. It's not like you're going that fast on the dirt.
You know, in a Monkey, you've got knobbies.
Oh, they do? On the road, they ride on knobbies?
Yeah, they run a dual sport tire on them.
Because I feel like that's like the one vehicle. But still, that doesn't even cost as much as this.
No. So what we're looking at, this is from Pandemic Performance.
Yeah, not a fan of the name. Can we leave that in the past?
Spelled all kinds of not normal. Pandemyk. Pandemic.
Yeah.
This is the Mini RCR T3 electric 3-wheeler. So it's a 750 watt motor. Just kind of picture a Honda like ATC, like a 125 in your mind. Slightly modernized, some sharper angle lines. But yeah, just electric.
Quiet.
Bunch of billet stuff.
You can't really... I mean, depending on how you camp, charging an electric vehicle at vintage days is not necessarily easy.
Yeah.
But I guess you would
just
assume
park it anywhere next to an outlet and plug it in until someone catches you.
I guess. I don't know
think we're
how
going to slowly
accessible
find
outlets
more
are.
and more of that over the years.
You could sell power from the generator. I wonder how long it would take to charge something like this on a generator.
Depends. I don't know that they have anything about the charging specs.
Or how many miles do you get on something like this to where you would even need to charge? Because think about how many miles you actually drive. A couple miles a day.
You have a 4 to 6 hour range.
Oh, that's not necessarily good. You do a lot of time. I think like you spend a lot of time driving a vintage days, but not necessarily a lot of distance.
Well, and that's where electric comes through is, for the most part, the slower or the more stop and go you're doing on a battery powered thing, the more, maybe not stop and go, but if you look at EVs, their range drops off the faster they go. They're like the opposite of a gas engine. Gas engine gets more efficient as you're going faster. EVs are typically inverse. So 4 to 6 hour range, figure they're going to kind of float stuff in their favor. 4 hours probably isn't at top speed. 6 hours is probably close to more optimal speed, which is, who knows, maybe 15 miles an hour. But that might be in a whole vintage days, honestly.
It's hard telling. It depends on
might be close. Depends on if you go to
I wonder,
pit.
It makes difference how hot it is too, doesn't it?
Yeah, temperature can play into battery.
Can get hot during the day.
Yeah.
Surprisingly cool at night, but hot during the day.
Yeah.
Have you made a list of all the vehicles you're taking to vintage days and which ones you're actually going to sell?
So I was thinking about this earlier.
I need
to just make a list of all the vehicle stuff I'm trying to get done this year.
Make them on or we need to put each vehicle on an index card and then put it on the wall behind us and move it through different columns. Needs works, going to vintage days, needs to be sold.
So now that Cleveland Moto's doing video, we've got to do video.
They have 7 people. They have a whole hoopla of people.
A hoopla?
I don't even know what that is.
Congratulations on 500 episodes.
Woohoo.
I wish I would have thought about it ahead of time and made time and made it up there. I need to get myself together and make time on a Thursday before vintage days to go up and hang out for an episode. But no, we should have a giant dry erase board behind us, though. We can just have projects in progress.
I was thinking more of the crime scene boards where they have strings and thumbtacks and
yeah, we could do that.
Maps.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like
make it look really chaotic.
I do feel like you have some vehicles that could. I mean, the bar is low at vintage days.
Mm-hmm.
Things don't need to be fixed before they go.
No, but the spree, where stuff got put away was the spree got a new pipe. I was still in the process of tuning the carburetor for the new pipe. That needs wrapped up.
Just bought that at vintage days.
Yep.
So that might be a flip.
Maybe. It needs new tires.
Mm-hmm. You burnied them out in the burnout pit.
Yeah. And then, decide if we're going to flip it or if it's just going to be the small zip around vintage days thing because it was
affordable. I think you need to look at all the possible small bikes you have and then figure out if almost put them in order of what you would want to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then be this is the last one I would sell and obviously make the markup ridiculous. So
I think the Rascal, as much as the problem is I don't ride the bike enough. Every time I ride the bike, I'm like, man, I love this thing.
It's perfect under the right circumstances.
But then every other moment, I'm like, I really need to just sell that so I can buy a monkey. Right?
Maybe your goal would be to come up and sell enough bikes, come up with a way to price enough bikes that we have to get rid of to get a monkey. Your goal is to make $5,000, $4,500, whatever you can get one basically new at this point because people are really just selling them because they realize they don't use them.
Yeah.
And knowing that you have something you're working towards will incentivize you to get rid of things. I think it's always easier to get rid of things when you know you're either have a replacement or you're working towards something. And I think consolidation would be appreciated as well at this point.
Yeah. So spree needs to get done. Spree's going, whether that's just for transpo or to sell. The problem is how many bikes are we going to cram in the toter home? Or are we going to take a trailer too?
Yeah.
The Rascal could go to sell and or ride.
Rascal is probably worth the most amount of money that you'd be taking, I would assume.
Yeah.
And
the Aprilia is nice because we both fit on it and it's comfortable and it's speedy and legally plated and can run in town. It's chunky to get back and forth though. It is. The electric mini bike should probably go.
To be sold?
Yeah. And to also show them off and try and sell more of them.
What would the sale price of that be? Give me a bracket. You don't have to tell me exactly, 3 to 500.
Give me 2 seconds.
It would be interesting to mentally compare it to other mini bikes that we would see there. Granted, the prices of everything may go up now. It's so hard to know what's going to happen. Even in a couple of months.
Let's see if the internet's going to work with me here.
I think used is going to be anyone's best option.
$697. Now, granted,
$697 is what it's listed at on the site, or what you paid for it?
No, that's what I was selling them for.
Okay.
But also, I haven't looked at this in a minute. And hopefully my cost hasn't gone up a bunch since I priced it. I should probably check that out.
Oh, yeah, you could be losing money.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I haven't sold one in a minute, live. But yeah, I should probably double check the cost because I am quite confident some portion of that bike is being made in China. Yeah.
Maybe just put that whole listing on hold.
I might need to. Electric mini bike going.
You might have to ride that around to sell it.
Yeah.
That might be one of those things where it's like, cool. You know what you should do is just...
Well, I'd also probably just sell that one for like $500 or something.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have a bunch of time on it, but it's got a little time on it. It's not brand new.
Really? I don't remember you ever riding it.
Yeah, we ran it up and down the streets a bit, and we'll ride it at vintage days, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you were going to say something else, so...
I don't remember.
Okay. And then I really still want to build the diesel mini bike.
That's fine. I mean... I guess we'd have to really sit down and figure out what do you actually want to like keep and ride. Like, do we take the Aprilia? That was called Aprilia. Just to have something. It was just so hard to get in and out of the back because it was the biggest thing we took. It's
tight. Yeah. Yeah.
Not that it isn't luxurious while you're on it. It's just, is there something else that would work better? We don't really ride on it that much, too. It's really nice when we are on it, but we aren't on it so much.
Well, the question is, if we don't take it, are you going to ride something?
It makes me nervous to ride by myself because you always make me scared.
Okay.
You always tell me, don't do this. Don't go too fast. Don't go too slow. Don't do this. Don't do that. And it's so stressful for me to ride.
Aware of all of the other people around you.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
It puts me in a lot of stimulation overload. Takes a lot of mental energy from me to...
Well, we basically have to figure out...
Ride like that.
If you're not going to ride something by yourself, something has to go that we both can ride.
Well, and also we don't know what the weather's going to be like.
Sure.
If it is muddy, I probably would be less likely to ride
Honda gyro canopy.
Than if it's honestly dusty. Like, dusty is given. You know what I mean? Dusty is default. If it got muddy...
Yeah. I mean, you ran the Spree around a little bit last year.
Yeah, after everyone was gone.
Yeah.
I said it's the people that...
Confidence? No.
Confidence last year, maybe, for a minute. That's gone. That dwindles over time.
Okay.
It fades.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't think I can do it. It's that I almost need more practice on any of them. Like, we don't ride anywhere.
Well...
We'll have to take some to the farm or something.
Would you be comfortable enough to ride your e-bike around?
That almost went too fast, honestly.
It does move. That thing scoots.
I think I'd be better off on like a Spree or something funky than the e-bike. I liked it overall. Like, it's an amazing machine, but like when you hit acceleration, like it's gone.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess I need to ride everything more because a bike is more familiar to me. Like I have more time on a bike, like a bicycle, to where I'd probably feel like I could handle it better. It's just so hard. You can't prepare for those conditions as an inexperienced rider. You just cannot mentally prepare. There's no other equivalent. I guess you should probably put Bandcamp on your list of things too.
Yep. But this all goes back to the perfect vintage days vehicle is a 3-wheeler.
For some people.
Well, I think you'd be more comfortable on one.
I probably would be, 100%, but I just don't want to be that douchebag on a 3-wheeler.
No one thinks 3-wheelers are douchebags. Okay. Don't be putting that out there.
I don't know.
That's bad mojo. Everyone was all stoked.
I just hear what everyone says about the 4-wheeler.
Down the street or down the row from us that had a Kawasaki 750 crammed into the darn thing?
Training wheels on something else. I don't know. I know what people say about the 4-wheeled vehicles, so it's like...
Yes, totally different category. Totally different.
Okay, well, I don't always see that. To me, it's just... I don't see...
Someone thinks a 3-wheeler
4 wheels. I see not 2 wheels is where my head goes of like... Yeah. They're discriminating against the non-2-wheeled vehicles. I don't see 4-wheel bad, 3-wheel okay. Like, that's not
Yeah. No, because if you're going to lump three-wheelers in with side-by-sides, then you're saying like anyone who rides a trike,
No, there are people
girls
that don't like
with
people on trikes.
sidecars, old Harley Cervicars like that. Remember that, like, what was it, 50-something that we went and looked at? That was there last year. Like, no one has an issue with them.
Okay. Well,
Three-wheelers are fine. Someone does have an issue. I'm sure there's someone.
People are going to be like, oh, it's a girl. Of course she'd be on a three-wheeler.
I want to rip a three-wheeler there. Just because there's times, especially in the dark later at night.
Oh, the dark is sketchy because no one has lights.
Well, it just gets sketch on, like, you hit a deep patch of gravel or you hit a muddy patch of something.
Grass.
Yeah, I mean,
long grass.
Wake you up real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some interesting
I can see it, but
riding surfaces there.
I'm just scared of the stereotypes. I just want to blend in.
Well, we are T-minus 3 months to vintage days.
Oh my gosh. I need to go fine-tune the bathroom in the camper.
We need to put the ceiling back up. We need to put an automatic transmission in it.
Oh my gosh, it's not going to happen. Maybe we just take a tent.
One crisis at a time.
Oh my gosh. Maybe we need to cancel our trip.
Yeah.
Oh,
go to the Outer Banks and then come back, put a transmission in that thing. Anything else? Is that it? Stop yawning. It's only 11. Oh, we forgot to say what time we were starting at the beginning. I don't remember.
It was 9:45-ish.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's always
no one really,
about 9:45.
No one probably cares but you.
Yeah. It's been a thing we did.
Late.
Yeah, but we got it done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So nothing? You good?
Nope.
All right. Well, we will be back at some later date. See ya.
Bye.